This has been our 10th year, so it's caused me to really spend a lot of time reflecting on what we've done over the past 10 years. And I have been able to watch miracles happen that literally take my breath away. Most of the women who come here come from jail, and they also might come from just generations of drug use, drug abuse. So of course throughout that process they have most likely lost custody of their children.
I've been on and off drugs since I was like 14. And my dad, he's like pretty much been in prison my whole life. I landed myself in jail, and I just want the cycle to be broke with my kids, so it's not like a pattern that continues.
I had a period of about 3 weeks where I spent $5 grand on drugs instead of on my kids. And so it just became obvious that there was a really bad problem.
When you're in a life of addiction, you're just going, and you're not in your right state of mind. It was like I was in the middle of a tornado that was just going around and round, and there was no way out for me. My daughters, you know, every day they might not have known the level of, you know, hardship. They didn't know exactly what they were in the midst of, I don't think, but they knew the tension that was around them. They knew the smell of the drugs that were around them. The stress of mom running around thinking, are the police gonna kick in my door tonight? It's unimaginable to think about if I hadn't come to the Blue Monarch, where me and my daughters would be.
We have 50 acres out in the country in Middle Tennessee in the valley. And it is an incredible, beautiful, just wonderful atmosphere for healing. Everyone is required to take care of our goats and our chickens and our dog and our cats, and some of them are more excited about that than others. The Blue Monarch curriculum is really designed specifically for each individual woman who comes here, but they come here and they're surrounded by people who nurture them and support them, and they develop a relationship with God for the first time a lot of times. They all take life skills classes. We have a banker that comes in and teaches a budgeting class. They do a book study with a volunteer who comes in. They get a lot of counseling. They do one-on-one, they do group counseling.
I still have breakdowns and I still catch myself trying to be that old person, but you go through one self-esteem class with Ashley and she's got you back on track.
Everyone has to gain when women and children come to Blue Monarch instead of where they might have been otherwise. It really averages out to about $30,000 a family. So for instance, if you looked at that same family, if they had been in foster care or incarcerated during that time, it would be more like $140,000. One of the most valuable things I think that has developed over the last 10 years is the children's program that we have. A lot of these children are prime children to grow up to commit more crimes when they arrive. But when they learn a different way of life here, and that's what becomes normal to them, then those chances go way down.
Rehabilitative programs are very important. We have virtually none available for women that have children where they can keep their children. They are few and far between.
You know, the blessing of it all is that you can have your kids. You know, they can go through the process of restoration and rehabilitation with you, and you don't see that anywhere. My daughters and I started bonding for the first time since they were born. It was just a new beginning for us.
My oldest is 3 and his name is Nehemiah. It was heartbreaking to see the effects that my actions had on him. Just shooing him off to his room, or Mommy didn't want to play, or Mommy's sick, or it was the hardest thing for me to see when I got here was my kids. But he is so happy now. He's excited to come home and tell me how his day was, and I'm excited to hear it.
for every woman and child that's here, there are dozens who are not here because we don't have the room for them and we're having to turn them away. So there's a tremendous need because we get those calls every day.
If I can't sell people on the program because of the money that it potentially saves taxpayers, then let me hit you in the heart, because the idea is they're also saving lives. Not only the life of the lady who's there, but more importantly, the lives of the children that are there.
I feel like we're at a point where it makes a lot of sense for us to take the next really big step. We really need to expand our services that we provide on site, and then we need to be able to house more families.
If it wasn't for Blue Monarch, I wouldn't have a relationship with God, and I wouldn't have got clean, and I wouldn't have like better relationship with my kids.
I feel like a completely different person at Blue Monarch. When you wake up in the morning and you're happy just to be alive and happy to look at yourself in the mirror and think, wow, I can actually be somebody. It's amazing.
You know, this is a program of wholeness. This is a program that is going to, you know, allow mothers to not just go through recovery by themselves, but to go through recovery with their children, because it's all about broken women have broken children. And so that's what I think makes it so unique, is because you can go through the program together and you can grow and you can hurt and you can cry and you can get back up and you can laugh and you can heal together. And I think that makes such a huge difference, because that's everything.